It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 14th day of October, 2022, coming to you from Forest in Bedford County, Central Virginia area. This, of course, is our regular scheduled daily show at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Today we're going to be talking about a completely solar-powered cruise terminal. How about that? Got to mention a little bit more about Tropical Storm Karl. It's still out there, starting to move a little now. Voyages Rescue and Carnival to create maritime opportunities in the Philippines. That and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big guys, Podchasers, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. And if you ever want to jump over to the video feed, just go to the description of the podcast, and there'll be a click here to access video feed in case you want to jump over and see any pictures or clips that we may or may, be showing during that day's show. So today, first off, we're going to talk about our buddy Pittsburgh Jason. He was today was in Ravenna, and he said he felt like he's an art student. But they were in Ravenna. Of course, he did a lot of this, much the same thing when they were in Venice. So he says he feels like an art student, and these are just wonderful pictures there from Ravenna. He is on the Celebrity Constellation. Now, I don't think Jason has gotten his days and nights back to where they're supposed to be, because he had posted one clip on at night, at midnight in Venice, and then this clip is on Celebrity Constellation, and it looks like it's in the middle of the night. One of the things he told me about Celebrity Constellation, he said he loves the ship. He said, I would love it too, except there are definitely some accessibility issues. And I believe this is on deck 10. That's started off in maybe the buffet. And that's one of the hot tubs. That's on the main pool deck, which is deck 10. The hot tubs, of course, are inaccessible. At least I rate them that way. Kristy yesterday wouldn't, because she believes in using the lifts. So I'm going to have to take another look at lifts after talking to Kristy yesterday. There's another inaccessible hot tub because you have to go up steps. And one of the main pools. But see, there's not a soul out. Not a person. And so it's like he's on a ghost ship. It's an absolutely empty ship. So I have a feeling he was out roaming around in the middle of the night. And that, of course, is the coming up on the main pool. So although somebody's playing a little music at least. Now, one thing I did notice, which is a good thing, is they do have automatic doors, at least in this area, because he goes through the automatic doors there. That's one of the things that is helpful to handicapped folks. But that was deck 10 on Celebrity Constellation, and our friend Pittsburgh Jason. Okay, so a couple other things to cover this morning. Our buddy Rochelle was on St. John's at Trunk Bay Beach, and she said it was one of the loveliest beaches she's ever been on. And Rochelle has been on almost as many beaches as she's been in churches. Now, maybe not quite as many. She's been in a lot of churches. But when she says something, a beautiful beach, it's a beautiful beach. I promise you that. So that's on St. John's. She went over there, I think, when she was in St. Thomas. And today they're in St. Martin. And she said this is a terrible picture because she couldn't get close enough. But all the butterflies hatched. So there's billions of little white butterflies all over the place in St. Martin. And she said it's almost so thick you felt like it was snowing. So St. Martin's got a bunch of butterflies going on right now. And this is, of course, my buddy that's also on the same ship, Rachel Hunt, and she got off at St. Thomas. So I like that picture a lot. And then she went out and I tried to catch an iguana, and I told her I hope that she didn't try to smuggle that in her suitcase. Yeah, I could get pretty slimy in her suitcase. So I hope she listened to my warnings about the iguanas there in St. Thomas. That's Rachel Hunt. She's one of my buddies. So I'll be back with today's news after a quick word from one of our network sponsors. All right. The lead story this morning has to do with our buddies down in Galveston. I sailed out of Galveston this year and I saw this under construction. I was not aware at the time, but on November 9th, that's coming up in less than a month now, Royal Caribbean will be open its new cruise terminal in Galveston. The facility is the world's first zero energy cruise terminal, able to generate 100% of its needed energy through a massive array of solar panels, which are almost 30,000 square feet. Royal Caribbean's goals to be fully carbon neutral by 2050 do not apply only to the cruise ships the company operates. It now extends those principles to the new cruise terminal. Any surplus energy gets sent to the local power grid. Adventure of the Seas will be the first cruise ship to use the new terminal on November 10th. The cruise ship will sail a 4-night Western Caribbean cruise to Cozumel. On November 13th, Allure of the Seas will make her long-awaited debut in Galveston. The Oasis-class ship will be the first time one of those has sailed from there, and it'll be offering 7-night cruises to Roatan, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. The building has been built with materials that produce less than carbon based on energy used in transportation. At the same time, these materials have been designed to minimize the heat island effect. Also, there will be bicycles for staff, providing alternative transportation to the city and electric charging points for vehicles. Now, the one question I had I understand about having them electric charging points because there's a lot of people now that have the electric cars, like Amigo John has one. I wonder if they will also be running on the solar power. That would be really cool if somebody then has a car, gets the energy from solar power, and runs the car on solar power there running around Galveston. That's a win-win, isn't it? I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, congratulations to the folks in Galveston. I'll be going back to Galveston sometime in 2023. I feel sure. There's so many good ships that are sailing from Galveston now. I mean, it's been good. It's going to be even better. All right, Hurricane Karl. Let's see if anything's changed here in the last couple minutes. A new advisory has been posted, and it is still, exactly the same. Okay, it's just moved a little bit further. So here's the deal on Tropical Storm Karl. It continues moving south-southeast toward the coast of Mexico, expected to bring heavy rainfall and tropical storm conditions to portions of southern Mexico by tonight or tomorrow. Currently, it's located 145 miles north-northwest of Ciudad del Carmen, about 185 miles northeast of Coatzacoalcos, has maximum sustained winds of 40, so it's actually weakened just a touch. It was at 50. It's currently moving southeast at 6 miles an hour. The pressure's down to 1,001. Tropical storm warnings in effect from Alvarado to Sabanqui. Karl's expected to turn southward or southwestward over the Bay of Campeche today, and this motion should continue through early Saturday. The center of Karl should reach the coast of southern Mexico tonight or early tomorrow morning. Karl is expected to produce up to 10 inches of rain across portions of Veracruz, Tabasco, Chiapas, and Oaxaca in Mexico through Sunday. Of course, this could cause flash flooding and mudslides from the higher terrains because they've had so much rain down there. While this is clearly not a hurricane, I've had to follow it because that's not going in a direction that tropical storms go this time of year. So, and it's doing exactly what they thought it was going to do. It's getting ready to turn to the southwest now. Strange. Okay. Scarlet Lady, our buddies over there at Virgin Voyages, approximately 6 a.m. yesterday. Crew members aboard the Scarlet Lady spotted a small vessel in apparent distress in rough waters. The cruise ship was en route between Cozumel and Bimini, turned to offer aid. Scarlet Lady rescued 17 refugees from a small, overcrowded boat near Cuba. The individuals were taken aboard the luxury cruise ship and transferred to the appropriate authorities as soon as possible. Speaking of Virgin Voyages, they've introduced their first ever Eat and Drink Month and will partner with some of the world's top names in the food and beverage industry, such as Michelin star chefs Matt Lambert and Brad Farmery. Beginning next month, guests will have the opportunity to taste and sip their way through the Caribbean and Mexico during the line's Eat and Drink Month, featuring 4- and 5-night itineraries on Scarlet Lady and 6- and 8-night sailings on the Valiant Lady. They're known for their food already, and they're doing something to make it even better, at least for the month. That's pretty awesome. Carnival Cruise Lines trying to help out the folks down in the Philippines. Carnival is partnering with the Philippine Merchant Marine Academy and College and School Network STI to assist Filipinos in taking up maritime studies. According to Carnival, PMMA will provide training programs in several merchant marine fields to prepare Filipino students for shipboard training on Carnival ships, as well as collaborate with the cruise line in selecting students for cadetships, internships, and other employment opportunities. I think this is a good move. Of any of the cruise lines that make a special effort in any of these areas, and it attracts more people from that area, is phenomenal. I love the Filipino people that I have dealt with on cruise ships. I did a post last week about my favorite bartender on any of the cruise ships is from the Philippines, and she was just lovely and a really good bartender. So tip my cap to Carnival and for making a move there in the Philippines to attract more people. And obviously for some they're talking about trained people too now. That's getting into some, substantial income for these folks. So good deal. All right, that's it for the news today. The news was a little on the short side this morning, which was fine with me. It's been a busy week for me. Of course, we've had two really good interviews this week, and me trying to keep up with everything. And then Cruise Amigos yesterday. If you guys missed the Cruise Amigos yesterday, and part of that was my fault for the in between the shows, I didn't get the pre show promotion that I normally do. You want to go back and watch that. I sampled Amigo John's products twice. Once at the very beginning, well, we taped it about an hour early, and then a second one about, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 minutes later. I don't know how long it was, but I had two by the time we were on the air live. That started off the show, I was reasonably normal. By the end of the show, I was pretty well relaxed, let's call it. I was very relaxed. I got in my chair at the end of the Cruise Amigos as soon as I got off the air because I thought I was going to fall asleep. My eyes were so heavy. I got over my chair and never did go to sleep. But boy, I sure didn't want to get up and do anything. I was totally laid back, no pains. It really felt good. And when I did go to bed last night, wow, did I sleep like a rock? I actually overslept about a half hour this morning. I woke up with a cat banging me in the head. Get up and feed me, fat man. All right, so let's see who's in the chat room today. Hi there. Tom is with us. Still working on the info from yesterday's biopsy. I hope that comes out okay. And Cindy's surgery scheduled for the 26th. And of course, he had to cancel his cruise. And he's having some issues on the travel policy, paying for everything. And so he's going to end up losing some money. And that sucks always. Worst of all, upgraded Delta return home flights to first class, and Delta says the upgrade fee is non-refundable. Yeah, understand. Yo, Brooklyn in the house. And Eddie, I have to apologize because right up through the whole program yesterday, I thought Martin was going to be with us. He always, when he's not going to be on the show, he always sends me a message, and he never did yesterday. So, and I know he's had some personal issues that he's dealing with, so I'm not faulting Martin. If I had known, I would have had Eddie back on the show again this week. I thought Martin would be popping in late. Maybe he was tied up on a phone call or something. And then by the time I got into the show, Eddie, I was getting so stoned, I couldn't have found the right buttons to send you a link. Just being perfectly honest, I was really relaxed by the time the show was on, and I realized Martin wasn't going to be with us at all. So anyway, we'll do that again because I'm sure this is going to happen another time. So, advice, please. Fat Tuesday, 2024. That's Mardi Gras Day. It's February 13th. What do you think of someone trying to continue the party for a February 25th Jade cruise from New Orleans? If I'm not sure where the Jade sails, hi there, Tom. But if it's from New Orleans, hell no. I've been to Mardi Gras. I mean, it's 3 or 4 days before Mardi Gras comes back to normal that you can do anything. Fat Tuesday Mardi Gras Day is February 13th. Oh, the 25th. That's 2 weeks later. What do you think someone trying to continue the party for February 25th J Cruise? I find that a bit objectionable considering it's a religious day. Oh, I see what you're saying now. Well, it has a religious basis, but then Mardi Gras. I mean, that's an obnoxious party. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no. It's hard for me to equate the two on any religious basis. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I didn't understand your question there. Sorry about that, hot air. Mike's with us. Hello, Mike. Dennis. Hi, Dennis. Good to see you again. Amy's with us. Ah, Rahena. Did I say it wrong? Okay. Ravena. 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 Okay, Ravena. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis is my enunciation coach. I say something that's wrong, and he can correct me so that I can make sense of it. So, and I appreciate that. Deck 10, the Lido deck. Yep, looks like it. So sorry to hear about the problems, hot air Tom. We have NCL escape booked early March, so no February cruise for us. Cindy says good morning to everybody. Hi, Cindy. Kenneth's with us. Hi, Kenneth up in Pennsylvania. Nikki's here down in Jacksonville. She's sorry hot air Tom had to cancel too. Is that the South Africa to Dubai? No. No, that's not that. That's not already, is it? Maybe it is. Osaka, cheap labor for Carnival. Well, yeah, but the trained people though, they still like their engineer stuff and their regular their trained staff. They have a fairly decent salary. That's not like somebody that's starts off as cleaning the rooms or a waiter or something like that. But anyway, yeah, and I completely agree with that. But I like the Filipino people, the ones that I've dealt with on cruise ships in particular. They're great folks. And he said that was a riot yesterday. Mellow. Yeah, I was mellow, and I stayed mellow. I stayed mellow literally until I went to bed last night. I was still. I mean, my niece, of course, she's a little more experienced in this field than I am. But when I went into the dinner table last night, you could still tell I was, you know, I was blitzed. So, of course, I did eat plenty at the dinner table too. I had the munchies by then. You asked about munchies yesterday on the show. No, I didn't have the munchies. I was dying for a Diet Coke. By the time dinner time came around, I almost ate my arm. I was so hungry. Yeah, hot air says stoned. I admit it. I was, yeah, I was very mellow. Replay both the shows. Thanks, Dennis. Nikki, next will be Hawaii on November 26th. Eddie says, thanks for the shout out. Of course, Eddie. And I'll certainly, I'll check with Martin and see what happened for yesterday. So, yeah. But I need somebody on that side of the pond because that's where that show started. Pete started that show originally and brought me on. And then I got off during the chemo thing, and John got on, and then I went back after chemo. Okay, Hot Air Tom says, You didn't understand. Okay, you're getting it now. Jade is out of Tampa. Just rubs me wrong the way to put the Mardi Gras party in Lent. Okay, I understand. I got you. Oh, Oaxaca. Yes, it is. Now that makes sense. I knew Oaxaca. I just didn't realize that's the way it was spelled. Okay, understood. Yeah, Dennis. See there, folks. I said that wrong 2 days in a row because I didn't know that the OAX in Spanish is pronounced Oaxaca. And I should have known that because I know the word. I know the name from my travels in Mexico. You're Dennis. Thank you. That's perfect. That's good. All right. So I probably sounded like a real klutz doing the weather the last couple of days, mispronouncing Oaxaca. So, oh well. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for the week. Now, I don't know that. I will, of course, stay on top of things in case anything happens over the weekend. I could go live at any time or post videos about it. I did try a little, short this morning with a news story just to see what would happen, use it as a time to promote today's show. Don't know if that works or not. We'll have to see. But anyway, I tried that today. I may do after the show, do some stories on shorts if I get any traction and get, any people from it. So I'm playing that by ear on YouTube Shorts and also on TikTok and Instagram Reels. So we're playing with all those things right now. Anyway, I'll stay on top of things this weekend. I'm not really doing anything between now and when I go on this next 3 cruises when I leave here on whatever time I leave here on the 21st or 22nd, something like that. And then the other thing I did want to point out, because I didn't really mention it too much yesterday. I did mention it. I did post a new video on my blog on Chillie's Cruises schedule. It is on December the 3rd out of Fort Lauderdale on the new Staten Dam. It goes to Ocho Rios and Grand Cayman and Bimini. Bimini's replacing Key West, and I don't remember the other one. The Holland America's Island. Anyway, I'll be on New Staten Dam. Did I say New Amsterdam? New Staten Dam on the 10th. It's a 7-day cruise, and it was a bargain. If anybody's got a week free, take a look at that. Because, man, it is really, really well priced right now. So just throwing that one out, folks. I'm going to be on it. Yeah, I promise you. That's my bargain for the year so far. Anyway, that's going to wrap me up for today, folks. Appreciate the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'm still trying to get 60,000 subscribers by tomorrow. Maybe I need to eat some more John's candy. But it's a nice goal. All right, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll see everybody back here Monday morning in case I don't make it on the weekend. So stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. It's the old fat travel guy. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.